LinkedIn is now on easy mode. And in this video, I'm going to explain you exactly why that's the case and how you can benefit from that. So this video is specifically relevant for you if you're a coach, consultant, or a small agency owner. And over the course of the next 15 to 20 minutes or so, I'm just going to break down why LinkedIn still in 2025 is the number one platform for you to consistently acquire high ticket clients. So one of the reasons you might click on this video is because you've been posting on LinkedIn, but you're not getting the right results. You hear from peers or perhaps competitors that they're signing clients consistently on LinkedIn, or perhaps you get burned out from working on other platforms such as Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, perhaps, or running paid ads. And you're just looking for a more scalable, a more profitable way to acquire high ticket clients for your business. If that's you, please keep watching. So let's paint a picture first. LinkedIn has currently over 1 billion users, which to this date, they're still growing. And one of the craziest facts of that is that less than 1% of these 1 billion users post actively. And with posting actively, I mean a few times per week. So you can imagine what kind of blue ocean it still is. Even though for some years, LinkedIn has been like downgraded by some people or telling that LinkedIn is dead. I'm making the point here, and I will back it up with evidence and proof later in this video. But I'm making the point that LinkedIn is still the number one channel if you want to grow your business as a service provider. Like I said, it is such a massive opportunity because most people are just literally scrolling the feed and just consuming content. So one of the main reasons that LinkedIn is such a great opportunity is literally this. There is such a huge discrepancy between consumers of content and creators of content. So by already posting content, and I will show a little bit of examples in a second, by simply showing up, you already put yourself in such a upper echelon that you're already let's say you're already winning from your competitors that are hoping for people to come to them. So posting can be done consistently, as in like every day perhaps, or 2 to 3 times. I would argue is already enough. So like I said, you're simply winning by showing up already. So you might think, okay, Jesse, sounds great, but what do I talk about, right? Like not knowing what content to publish is, I would say, the biggest bottleneck for most service provider, because you understand that content is important in order for you to attract clients, right? But on the other end, you don't know what to post. So I fully get that. And what I've seen happening in the last 3 years or 2 to 3 years on LinkedIn is that before, the emphasis was very much on, let's say, educational how-to content, like really educating your audience on a specific topic. And by doing so, you position yourself as a authority and people come to you for more advice, more questions, and eventually want to work with you. Well, that used to work. However, now in a era where AI, ChatGPT, other LLMs are so present, like information and knowledge is not the bottleneck anymore. It's like, I wouldn't say it's becoming a commodity or obsolete, but I can write a thesis or an essay on quantum physics in like 1 minute, right? Without even opening a book or being a subject matter expert, right? So anyone these days can write about anything, right? So whereas it's still important for you to educate your audience on a specific thing, it's all about specific insights. And that's where you as a you as a service provider really have the edge, because no one has the expertise you have, no one has the experience you have, no one has the unique insights you have, no one has the client results or the client wins that you have, and no one has like the same interests like yourself. So basically, like, whilst like information and knowledge is, yes, more of a commodity, No one can write like you, share the stories like you. So that's why what I want to, like, the point I'm trying to make is that yes, it's still important for you to educate your audience, but you want to infuse a lot of authority by things that only you can say, right? So those are the things that are so uniquely you that, for example, when someone sees a post of you and they block, let's say, the profile picture and the name, it's still able to figure out it's you because only you can say those things, right? So that's the first thing. So you really want to emphasize this real content, what I like to call authority content, like things only you can say, right? Because anyone these days can come up with like the generic how-to fluff, right? So that's the first part. So really dive into, okay, what are the stories only you can tell, and what are the ways you can educate your target audience on the problems they face, the challenges that they encounter, the frustrations they feel, or the desires that they have, right? Like how can you infuse that into your content? And that's something that I'm not going to go into like full detail how to craft content, but what I will do, I will drop a video in the comments section that goes specifically into this type of content, this authority content. So if you're interested in this, make sure to watch that video after this one, because that breaks down more of the specifics in terms of content. So the other thing that's super, super important, or one of the main reasons why I'm so bullish on LinkedIn, is that the audience on LinkedIn is just quality. It's people with deep pockets, it's people with a lot of experience, it's people with huge track records. So as you are a service provider, you want to, of course, go after people with money, with expertise, and the means to invest time, resources, and money, right? So compared to, let's say, Instagram, TikTok, or perhaps Twitter, there's a lot of noise. There's a lot of focus on entertainment, or just like scrolling for the sake of scrolling, right? Whereas people on LinkedIn don't necessarily go to LinkedIn just to be entertained or just to kill time, right? They usually go there to find experts, to learn something new about the topic, to connect with people, to build their network, to find someone to connect with, to do business with, right? Because after all, it is still a business platform. It's becoming more, I would say, a content platform, but still the purpose of it is do business, attract business, grow businesses, right? So there are some different stats on this, but the average like income from the people on LinkedIn is around like $75,000 per year, which is quite a lot of money, right? If that's the average. But the fact that I would say, I think it's like 60 or 65% of decision makers from high corporations and like high level executives are on LinkedIn. So the like the pool on LinkedIn is just very strong. Like, let's say the 16-year-old scrolling on TikTok, those people are not on LinkedIn because it's boring, right? But you, as a service provider, as a coach, a consultant, a small agency owner, you're not looking to find people to entertain, right? You're looking for people to sell your services to. And especially if you're selling like a high ticket offer, let's say $3,000 plus per month, you need people with expertise, with money, with resources, right? And those people are coming to, or they are on LinkedIn, but they're also coming to LinkedIn because they understand that in order for them to connect with the right people, they need to be on the platform. And the interesting thing here is that those people, I would say, are not as active because they're just using the platform as like a billboard, or like a, yeah, they're just scrolling it. But that's why I started saying that content is so important, because the role of content, the role of your content is basically the bait on your fishing rod. Like, without you talking about the thing that you do, like talking about the problem you solve, or talking about the services you have, no one knows you exist. Like, you can have the best product, service, or offer in the world, but if you don't market it, no one knows you exist, right? So you need to have this content going out consistently 2 to 3 times a week, like I said earlier. At the same time, like, these high quality people, these people with deep pockets, the people that you can help with your offer, with your business, they're scrolling the feed and they're looking for these posts to connect with the people, and to really, to get to grow their business, right? So that's the second thing. And like I said, people come to LinkedIn with a different intent. They come there to connect, to grow, to do business, to learn something new, to build a network. They not necessarily go there for like doom scrolling, right? That's, I would say, people do that more on Instagram. So that's of course super, super important. So the other thing that's very important or very interesting to see about LinkedIn is that it offers a variety of options in terms of giving you the option to post different types of content. So for example, growing on YouTube, you have to do something with video. Like, it's impossible to grow a YouTube just with text, right? On the other hand, Twitter is very much text-based. Sure, there are visual elements to it, but the majority is like writing. Whereas Instagram is very visually appealing, right? It has to be some form of like visual hook in order to get people in the post. Even if you write the best caption, you still have to have a visual element to the post on Instagram. On LinkedIn, you can have it all. You can have a text-only post, you can have a visual, you can make a carousel, which is like the slide decks, the PDFs. You can add video. You can basically do anything, right? You can either you can add a GIF, like an animation. So whatever your stronghold is, whatever your expertise is, whatever way you find it easy to express your ideas or to create content, LinkedIn has your back there. So I've tested with all of these formats over the last few years, and in terms of audience growth, I found that using carousels like the pitch deck has been super, super important. However, as my emphasis and the emphasis of the clients that we work with is on lead generation, we find that more simple formats as like text with an image or text with a visual work best in attracting the right clients. Some of my clients, they still use carousels, or some even use video, and that's of course based on their own preferences and the ease of which they create content with. But that's of course something that you can decide for your own. So whereas writing is still important on LinkedIn because you have to write the caption, it's more of a collaboration, right? The visual is as important as the writing on LinkedIn. So that's of course very, very good to understand. The other part why it's 2025, and this might even be the biggest reason. So with AI, with all these things out there, like, it's very easy these days to impersonate someone else. Like, anyone on Twitter, for example, can be Elon Musk or anyone else, right? Or on Instagram, it's very easy to present yourself as someone else. Whereas on LinkedIn, that's less of a case because there is this verification process in place. It's very, I would say it's strict because in order to set up a profile, you have to do some verification. So it's very much tied to an identity. So that's one. The other thing is that I would say there is this consensus on LinkedIn that people talk with people. So whether you're talking in the DMs or talking through people like on the feed, people understand that they're interacting with a different like human. So for example, like, there are a lot of bots on Twitter, X, and Instagram. That's not really the case on LinkedIn because it's pretty like secure and like, I would say, guarded. So people have in the back of their head that they interact with someone else, right? So there's a lot of trust baked into this platform because let's say you're talking to someone on LinkedIn, you can literally check out the profile. You can basically get like a background check on them, where they went to school, what experience they have, like who are they connected with, what kind of mutual connections you have, like what do they currently work. So there's a lot of like information that allows you to quote unquote vet a person. And of course, that either builds trust or makes it harder for you to trust someone, right? Because basically you can see who they are. Whereas on Twitter and Instagram, like, there is not much of a bio, there's not much of a background check. So there's a lot of like trust baked into LinkedIn as a platform. And I would say this is also one of the reasons that I personally have been able to close multiple six figures via DMs on LinkedIn. So no sales calls, no face-to-face interaction, just chat back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, sending a payment links and closing deals from $3,000 to $5,000 USD. And like I said, in that process, I made over multiple six figures alone. So that, I would say, it might be possible on other platforms too, but you have to build that trust, right? Whereas on LinkedIn, that trust is built in. So if you're a service provider of any kind and you want to build more rapport with people and you want to build this connection, LinkedIn has it, like I said, almost like built in, because it's just this, yeah, it's like people used to have it for like their resume, right? In terms of like, it's just like a job board, like an application, like a place where you find new jobs. Whereas now, I think since, I would say 2022, so 3 years and a bit, it's becoming more of a content platform, right? The number of people that have grown their brands to content, including myself on LinkedIn, has of course massively risen. But still, this element of trust that you know that you're speaking to someone else really makes the platform like high potential. And that brings me to the other point, is that the window on LinkedIn is still freaking open. Like, as I mentioned in the beginning of this video, is like, there are so many people on LinkedIn. It's like over 1 billion users. It's like literally growing year over year. Why is that the case? Well, more people get to the platform, more people are getting connected to the internet, of course. But on the other hand, there's also not really a platform like LinkedIn, based on the reason that I just shared with you before. And where, let's say, most service providers, they get so fed up with either like trying to get attention on Instagram or trying to stand out on TikTok or running paid ads to acquire clients. LinkedIn is still this blue ocean where, with a simple strategy, with a simple content strategy, with a simple messaging strategy, you can easily close 2 to 3 high ticket clients every single month. So if you want to know more about how that process works in detail, I will drop a video, like a long video, like it's 40 minutes, like full breakdown of the system in the description. So this is basically the system that we've built. It's a step-by-step process, fully outlined, like a blueprint that our clients use to consistently sign high-ticket clients on LinkedIn. So if you're interested in that, check the video in the description. But yeah, guys, LinkedIn is such a big opportunity. And sure, I am biased because I've been building on the platform for the last 4 to 5 years. But I've also seen so many people transform their whole mindset. So a lot of our clients, they came to us in terms of like, oh yeah, I understand that LinkedIn is important in order for me to grow my business, but at the same time, I don't really know how it works. I've tried it, but I got burned out. And then I got back to Instagram, or I went back to running ads, or I've posted a few things on X or on YouTube, but nothing really sticks. So the moment we help them like build a LinkedIn system, so basically the system that I break down in the video in the description, it starts to click. Like, we work with people that are business owners and not content creators. So we help them with a routine that in an hour a day, sometimes even less, they post the right content because they use ChatGPT AI to create this content. So even if you don't know what content to post, or even if you not can write a post, we got you covered there. We help people with like sending the right messages, like, okay, what message to send, how to find those people, how to follow up, like basically everything you need in order to have conversations on LinkedIn to book more calls and close more clients. And of course, we help people with like systemization, right? Like helping, like I said, it's not just every morning you sit down and you're like, what should I write about? Like, you have a system for ideation. You have a system for sending messages. You have a system for follow-ups. And like all of these processes, they work. So for example, one of our clients, Atanas, he was in this position that he tried all these things. He's an agency owner, so he's busy with running his business, like delivering services for his clients. But still, he needed marketing to acquire new clients, right? So he was like wasting like 4 to 5 hours per day on LinkedIn. Every morning he sat down, he wrote, he's like, what should I write about? He had no structure, no strategy, no nothing. And besides like wasting those hours, wasting that time, nothing really substantial came out from it. So I helped him build this system. I helped him implement like a LinkedIn routine. So now in May last month, he booked 19 calls and he closed 3 high ticket clients within a month. So he does that even by spending less time on LinkedIn and more time on iteration, right? Or another example, Scott, one of our other agency owners, he's also one of our clients. Every morning, he would wake up 1 hour before his workday started, open a Google Doc, and was staring at a freaking blank page. And every morning it was such a grind. Like he had to do it, so he committed to it, but it was absolutely not getting anywhere. So after, again, we helped him create like a simple content GPT. So basically like an AI bot that helped him craft specific content in his tone of voice, with his case studies, with his like client wins, like unique insights, etc. Like all the things what I said in the beginning of this video that make his content unique. We've built it in an AI. So now, instead of 1 hour every day, now he spends 1 hour every Sunday to create all of his content for the next week. And not just that, not only did he manage to save like 90% of his time, from like 7 hours to 1 hour, by implementing this content GPT, within a week, he closed a new retainer client on $3,500 per month. So the beauty of that is that A, he signed a client, B, he spends less time creating his content, and C, the client that he closed was in 7 days, whereas normally his sales cycle is 3 to 4 weeks. So that shows me that the content he's putting out is more targeted, is more specific, and is more unique, making his ideal client come out of the shadow, because like I said, they're scrolling the feed, coming out of the shadow, messaging him, booking a call, and closing the deal. So that's how easy and specific and simple but effective this system can be. So like I said, LinkedIn is by far the best channel for you as a coach, consultant, agency owner in order to grow your business. But I do understand that it can be super hard in order to figure all these things out. So again, if you need any help building a system like this that consistently gets you high-ticket clients on LinkedIn, don't wait, book a call with the link in the description. Check out the video to see how it works. And with that being said, I'll catch you in the next video, guys. Cheers, bye-bye.